This lesson is Complete the Square Part 1. Here we have an example, x squared minus 16x plus 55. I'm going to rewrite this line down here. First, I move the 55 over, so that becomes negative 55. Again, when you move a number to the other side, make sure it is opposite. So this is positive 55. I move it to the right side, so it becomes negative 55. Also, this right here, this is my A. It has to be a 1, no other number. One more time. This part right here where I am circling must be a 1, no other number. Since this is a 1, then we can move on to the next step. And I rewrote this line down here. So the next step is, this is my B. Okay, B is 16. If this is a negative or a positive, just ignore it. If this is a negative or positive, just ignore it. Okay, we only want the number, which is 16. So just leave the variable alone. We only want the 16. So this is the B. We divide by 2, so that gives me 8. Make sure you label that this is my key. I will need this key later when I factor. And then square the key, that gives me 64. Okay, so 16 divided by 2 gives me 8. Label my key because I will need this key later when I factor. And then square the key, which is 8 squared, 864. All right, so be careful of this step right here. Make sure you do this part correctly. Next, I'm going to rewrite this line down here. So I'm going to bring this line down here. So x squared minus 16, give some space, equal negative 55. This space right here, this is where you will add the square. When you key the square, when 8 squared is 64, this is where you add the 64. And if you do to one side, also do to the other side. Again, this empty space here, this is where you add the 64. And whatever you do to one side, do to the other side as well. So add 64 here and also add 64 here. Next, right here, this is my perfect trinomial. When I factor this out, this is a perfect trinomial. Okay, so make 2 sets of parentheses. So here's one set of parentheses, here's another set of parentheses. I have 2 x's because it's x squared, so 1x, 2x. This is a minus, so put minus, minus. If this is a plus, you put plus, plus. If this is a minus, you put minus, minus. If this is a plus, you put plus, plus. Since we have a minus, we put minus, minus. And then this empty space, this is where we put the key in. So my key is 8, put 8 here, 8 here. Okay, so you have 2 sets of parentheses with 2x, 2 negatives, and 2 of the keys. So 8 and 8. On the right hand side, 64 subtract 55 gives me 9. And since I have x minus 8 twice, I will square them. I will rewrite them as a square. Get rid of the square by square root on both sides. So square root and square go away. I just have x minus 8. Square root 9 gives me 3. However, since this is an even power right here, this is an even power, make sure you put plus and minus. Next, I want the x by itself, so plus 8 both sides. And then after that, you're going to rewrite twice by 3 plus 8, and then 3 minus 8. I'm sorry, 3 plus 8, and then negative 3 plus 8. Okay, so 3, positive 3 plus 8, and then negative 3 plus 8, which I have over here. And then after that, we can add and subtract. So 3 plus 8 gives me 11, and then negative 3 plus 8 gives me 5. So 3 plus 8 gives me 11, and then negative 3 plus 8 gives me 5. And this is my answer, 5 and 11. If you can go all the way, then finish the problem by solving. If you cannot solve them, then just leave it alone. Sometimes this part right here we cannot solve, so we just leave it alone. If we can keep going, if we can keep solving, then keep solving. Okay, so be very careful, especially right here. Make sure you do this correctly and set this up correctly as well too.